All right, it is Wednesday. That means Jeff Isaac, the lawyer in blue jeans, is with us today. We have another great question that a lot of folks can relate to. This has to do with dry cleaning. I brought in my favorite dress to the dry cleaners as I was in the wedding party for a good friend. When I picked it up, there were stains that were not removable, and it was impossible to wear. I had to buy another dress. What are my rights against the dry cleaner? That's from Amy in San Diego. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, Amy, do we not all have these kinds of issues, but not necessarily for weddings or special occasions? If we're
You've had these problems with your dress as well.
With my dress? Not my dress, with my shirt, yeah. Lately, not my dress. It's been cool. Bottom line is, yes, the dry cleaner has the obligation to use reasonable prudence, and if they should look at this before they take it in to see if there's an issue with fabric or if there's an issue with the kind of textile that they're using or whatever. So there's no specific laws applying to dry cleaners, but there are what we call negligence and small claims court. That's the bottom line. But I have some information that probably nobody knows, and now everybody out here is going to find out, and that is that you can go to the International Textile Analysis Laboratory. You can send in $36 plus the garment, and they'll tell you, for purposes of court, of whether or not the dry cleaner's excuse is valid or whether that should have been dry cleaned correctly.
Well, they do a forensic study on it?
Yeah, technically that's correct. They'll look at the fabric and the quality of the fabric and figure out whether or not this was something. A lot of dry cleaners will say, oh, the fabric is bad, we didn't know about it, it's not our fault. Well, if you send it to the International Textile Analysis Lab, and you can look it up in Google and send them a check for $36, now they'll come back and you can use that in court against that dry cleaners. Now, real quickly, the damages, well, obviously the cost of the dress, emotional distress, the cost of a brand new dress, all of that, it depends on the judge. I mean, really, it depends on how well you sell it, but it could come down to not only replacing the dress, but as far as the actual cost, and maybe a few bucks on top of it.
Right. It's almost like I want to do a story, though, on this organization you just named. That almost sounds almost like a scam in and of itself, like there's some guy in a back room going, oh, I think that, you know, whatever the assessment is.
We'll look into it a little closer to see.
Because for $36, how much forensic analysis can you get?
I know. That it seems pretty ludicrous, but they may just take 5 seconds and be able to figure out with a microscope whether the fabric is good or not. So who knows?
As you advise so often, first of all, talk to the person involved.
Exactly. Go to the dry cleaner and say, hey, let's work it out.
Exactly.
Don't just jump to court. But if you have to, you can.
We get a lot of that work done in our line of work, and I find them to be, you know, pretty reputable. They'll take care of it if they
I agree.
All right. Jeff, good to see you again.
See you next week.
See you again on Monday. And if you'd like to send a note to Jeff, if you have a legal question about almost anything, I guess anything, why even put a limit on it, whatever it is, send it to lawyer in blue jeans at gmail.com.